Here we go. Day 17 of the quarantine. I made an error yesterday, and we are live, by the way. Made a mistake. Yesterday was day 16 of the quarantine. Today is actually day 17 of the quarantine. So made an error there. But here we are rolling. Sorry, I'm a little bit out of breath. It's the 100, 200 day. I don't know if any of you do a 100, 200 day where you do 100 push-ups and 100 sit-ups. But today was the day for me. So I'm a little bit wore out here. So we're going to talk, as you can see from the title there, a little bit of advertising. We spoke a little bit about advertising yesterday, how this year, more than any, probably is going to be super important for especially race fans to be patronizing these sponsors. If there's a title sponsor to your track, go and thank them and support them. If there's a sponsor that sponsors one of your local racers, get to them, thank them, and make sure you know that you appreciate that. And then, obviously there's billboards around the track. Usually the racing night is sponsored by somebody. Like I said, support all these people because, like I said, under the circumstances we're on, we all know what we're going through, it's going to be real important. Now, I actually ran an advertising company for a while, so I know a little bit about advertising. For those of you that live in, you see my map back there, up in Wyoming or Montana, and you see the ads in the restaurant and bars, that was yours truly about 20 years ago that got that going for you. So there's a little provision in advertising called a clawback provision. What a clawback provision is if when you set up the terms, if all the terms don't come to fruition, then you'll be able to claw back some or maybe all of that money. Well, we've got no racing going on, okay? We've got series that are not going on. We have tracks that are not having crowds, and we have racers that are not racing, okay? We have the Monster Energy NASCAR series. Is Monster getting any bang for their buck as a series? We have the World of Outlaw Morton Buildings, World of Outlaw Late Model Series. Are they racing? No. We have the NOS Energy, World of Outlaw Sprint Cars, not racing. Locally by me, we have a speedway that's named like a Lowe's Motor Speedway. We've got the God Nicola Speedway in Superior, Wisconsin, a.k.a. Superior Speedway. Now, we wouldn't be open yet here, but if this thing drags on till August, if God Nicola offices were expecting fans there from the middle of May, maybe all of June, all of July, is he getting his money worth? And then there's, like I said, the racers themselves. I mean, we've got, NASCAR, where these are $1 million deals to get on there. We have the World of Outlaw Sprints. Those are six-figure. Those sponsors, some of those sponsorship deals are in the hundreds of thousands, okay? These are not small. This isn't play money, okay? And obviously we're moving. We're either in a recession or we're moving there. I don't know if any of you saw the jobs numbers, just terrible, devastating. I feel sorry. There's millions of Americans that all of a sudden are on the unemployment rolls, like millions, like overnight, like a snap. They're out now, and it's just terrible. So, but with that being said, hopefully we'll bounce back from that. So we're heading into this recession, or we're either in a recession or we're heading into a recession, right? So as a company, one of the easiest things to do and one of the most painless things to do is slash the advertising budgets, like right now. Just slash them, get rid of it. Well, we can see that coming, and that's going to affect racing. It's a lot easier to just slash the ad budget than it is to perhaps, fire somebody, get rid of employees. So, advertising plays a big part in motorsports. It always has, and now it's going to be affected in a very negative fashion. Now, obviously, like a series, they're not running. So the advantage to a series not running is they're not spending a lot on employees, and they're not, they don't have that travel expense like the sprint cars or the World of Outlaw late models, where they're on the road. So they're saving a little bit there. But on the income side, there's two kinds of income typically with a lot of these series is, you're going to count on or any business really. I mean, I can even relate it to one of my businesses. You've got like kind of your fixed income. All right. So advertising, if you're the series and you get a title sponsor, that's the fixed income you have coming in, right? You're saying, okay, whatever the deal is. We're Morton Buildings, you're going to give us $100,000. We're the World of Outlaw late models. You're going to give us $100,000. You're the title sponsor. So you're counting on that fixed income, all right? And then, of course, you have your variable income, which in the World of Outlaws case could be, maybe they do 10% better on their apparel sales. They always have a trailer there. So at the end of the year, you look and say, wow, we're up 10%. We had budgeted this, or we kind of planned on this. We got 10% better. Or maybe they get 5,000 more fans at the World Finals in November. Okay, so they make extra. Like in my business, my family, we have a lubrication business. So we have like oil changes and CarQuest and Napa Auto. That's kind of our bread and butter. Those don't change too much. The numbers go up a little bit in the summer versus the winter, but that's like saying they sell more Tootsie Rolls in October than you do in December because it's Halloween, right? You just kind of know that every year. But like this year in Minnesota, we had 4 feet of snow in January and just about every weekend 20 degrees. So our snowmobile oil sales were off the charts. And that's where our variable every year is going to be the weather. It's maybe we get great weather in the winter and our two cycle sales go off, off and running, or even in the summer we get beautiful weather, we get the jet skis running, more boats coming, and we sell a lot more. So those are kind of our variable income. So now with the World of Outlaws, if this clawback happens, or even if it happens to a track, they're going to have to decide what they're going to do. Are they going to, how is it going to affect them? Are they going to take the punch? Are they going to announce sooner than later that they're lowering the point fund? And if they lower the point fund, are certain drivers going to jump off? We've got a race coming here to Grand Rapids, Minnesota, where I live, 4 blocks away is the track. I'm looking forward to that. But is everybody that's right now following the series going to be here? Because maybe they cut the purse, or not the purse, but the point fund. Even the drivers, like I said, tracks might cut their point funds. And by the way, thank you, Grand Rapids Speedway, for everything you're doing to put this show together. I'm real excited. But even drivers, the last time Hibbing had a World of Outlaw late model race, we had competitors that weren't part of the series that came and ran. And the 2 that I can think of right offhand were Mike Marlar showed up and Hammer Down Jason Round from Iowa. Well, if sponsors start clawing back, how is that going to affect their travel schedules? And now are we going to have just kind of the outlaw regulars? Of course, Jimmy Mars, like a Pat Dorr, some of those kind of people will be there. Maybe even Dustin Strand from Grand Forks if he still has one of the open motors. But you can see how this is all going to be affected potentially if we don't get racing here, sooner than later. So let's just hope and be prepared. Like I said, be prepared that there might be some clawbacks. Now, what's helping to some degree, thankfully, and as crazy as it sounds, is the iRacing. The iRacing, you could see how the series, Monster, World of Outlaw late model, or Monster NASCAR, Morton Buildings, World of Outlaws, the NOS Energy Sprint Cars, they're jumping on this iRacing and trying to get some eyeballs as kind of a consolation for their sponsors and also for the driver sponsors, all right? So they can still get some sort of exposure because they're dying for exposure right now. The eyeballs just aren't on these cars. They're not on the billboards at the track. They're not on the television audiences, etc. So, it's going to be a very interesting summer to see how all of this, kind of plays out. And as crazy as some of, you can see the reaction with on the podcast, my fellow podcaster, Ryan Aho, he just can't imagine watching video game racing per se. But as the younger generation, like my 14-year-old son, 5 years ago, it was really big for him. When he discovered YouTube, all he did was watch other people play video games that were really good, I guess. I don't know. I never watched it with him, but he was addicted for 2 years of watching other people play video games. He played a little bit of video games, but he liked much more to watch other people play video games. Well, so to them, it's not a big deal. They're already used to watching people play video games. So that is going to grow. That's the part of our sport that's going to grow. Like I said, we talked yesterday. Local racing, it's constricting. Watching other people race in video games is growing. Big major events are growing. So all of this is going to see how all this kind of plays and melds and mixes with our sport as we go forward here. So Racer Puka, you can go ahead, like, subscribe. What's the other one? Comment. Yeah, my kids tell me I'm supposed to be saying this. Like, subscribe, comment. So that's the vlog for today. I got off a little later than normal today. You can actually go on Racer Puka and see the reason why. I posted a picture as to why I got on here just a little bit later today. Happy Friday, everyone. Like I said, we're going to get you through this quarantine. We're going to be here every day. I will be back tomorrow, Saturday, at some point to get a vlog in here. So we will catch you all tomorrow. Have a safe Friday night, everyone.